Alright guys, welcome back. So now we're going to start with Zaccaria Pack 12. This is the last of the Zaccaria Packs so far. We've covered basically 130 games, I think, now. This is the final pack. There's 5 more tables that we're going to go through. And we're going to get started here. Tell you what, if you've been enjoying this series, I've really loved having you guys coming and checking these out. I know a lot of these tables were stuff that people had not either seen, played before, or anything, so it's been kind of really awesome to go through these tables because when I bought my HD, I didn't really have access to see a lot of these tables, and it was really strange to kind of do that. So, okay, so let's get started. We're going to start with Battle Deluxe. The first, and this is a remake of some tables that I really liked before. So we talked about the Solid State from '77. We played the remake from 2018 or 2016, I think it was. So Battle 2016. Again, super busy table. The back glass is pretty good. At least fits the theme. You have a battleship or a destroyer shooting off things. You got what looks like some F-18 Hornets flying in there. They're identical with some different lens flare, but it is what it is. And again, lots of playfields. You have ship-based playfields. You have one here, a couple flippers there, a couple flippers here, a couple flippers here. 6 flippers, 7, 8 flippers, 9 flippers, and I want to say there's one more somewhere else, which we'll probably see during gameplay. So again, lots of flippers, center posts, tons of extra playfields, all kinds of visual distraction. But how does it play? As we've covered before, the dynamic lighting and sound effects kit for these are all really, really good. Again, magnet stops, magnet stops, magnet stops. And I think it really has to do with the fact that you cannot see the ball coming down. And so they do a magnet stop so to make sure that you're allowed to see that. It's kind of tough to reconcile that. But in cabinet mode, remember, these were built probably horizontally to start and then kind of transferred so that you had the ability to play them in vertical on a true cabinet. So this stuff was not, these tables didn't look so busy in more of a horizontal aspect ratio. So it is what it is. This is how I locked the first ball, so the captain there kind of locked the first one. And it's terrible. The fact that that kicks out directly to that spot is poor design. Really hate that kind of thing. The fact that it's right there, like almost dying every single time. Lots of extra playfields. Has some great sound effects though. I actually like the DMD in this one. It does have swirls and stuff like that, which is not very engaging. They could have done a much better job. They have since made some changes to that stuff. They're starting to release tables that actually have updated DMDs. So the next one, Tropical, will have it. Moonflight has it. Moonflight Deluxe, that is. So these are deluxe tables that they're now releasing in 2025 that have actually made those changes. This playfield is actually pretty cool. You got kind of lots of different drop targets to hit, and then you kind of want to throw it through the ramp to the upper section of the playfield. So ramp level 2. The ball's going to kick out eventually. I did a nudge just to make sure, but we did find it. It's over there. It did not go to an upper playfield. Now, I will say I'm a little biased because this is probably the best theme of the games that I've played so far on deluxe titles. This one, I love the battle tables on the remake and the original Solid State. So Obviously, you want this one to play a little better. That kick out is just terrible. I absolutely hate it. The fact that it does it is not cool. It should have been tweaked. In general, this is so this is one of the better deluxe tables. So if this is not something you're gonna like, chances are you're not gonna like a lot of the deluxe tables. This is kind of how they play. They are busy. They have lots of flippers. They all have center posts. I thought for the HD that these played really, really well, and I loved having them because they were so new and different. And on the HD, you don't have access to the Zen tables, so these are pretty engaging, and they have a lot more complex rule sets and modes, and they provided a lot of fun, quite frankly, a lot of value on the HD systems. So that's one thing I didn't really cover a lot on the Pack 11 Deluxe Pack that I just finished reviewing, and maybe I should have, because I think these are much better value on the HD than they would be on the 4K. You're starting to get into some new deluxe packs that are just too graphically intensive to run on the HD, and so these packs might be some of the best that you can get. It's kind of sad in a way, but hardware has been upgraded, and it is what it is. So I will say I really like this table. If I had to rate it by itself, alone, I would probably give it an 8. It's certainly one of the better deluxe tables, but is it a great table by itself? Probably not. But in and of itself, I love this game. I really appreciate this one. I do not like that kick out, but I've grown as a pinball player, and I will left nudge like that to be able to hit that shot every time. I'll go ahead and make that concession for that. So I would give this one an 8. I know that might be a little biased, but I really like the old battle tables, and I think they did some good things. So the next one we're going to cover is Red Show. Red Show Deluxe. Now, again, back glasses, back glasses, back glasses. I know you can see the reflection of me holding my head in the back glass here. These watercolor back glasses are awful. They know that they're awful because they just changed them on Steam about maybe 3 or 4 months ago. Also, this guitar riff. Get used to this guitar riff. You're going to hear it a lot during this table. It's terrible, and I hate it. They also replaced the music for this one in the Steam version, so that's something that's probably going to be replaced as well. Or going to hopefully be updated on the Atgames system too. Remember these things that we just seen on, I think it was Pool Champion? They're back in full force. There's actually 3 of them here on an upper playfield. The art style is super generic. It's not very good. The ones that they updated it to on Steam look beautiful. They really dressed it up. They really modernized the back glass and the playfield artwork to match. It just looks fantastic. They updated the music, which is better, but the playfield is still busier than all hell. This girl here, I think her name is Amy, if I remember right, is gigantic. I don't know why it needed to be that big, but anyway, we'll get started. This is all about going on a world tour, so I do love the sound effects. I will say that. I love the spinners. I love the fact that when you hit, you get kind of a drum riff. I don't mind the individual music sounds here and there. It's like they're warming up to start their world tour. Again, magnet stops for combos. So you can get into that combo all day long. So that's it. Now she's going to stop it and throw it on the upper playfield. Kind of breaks it up a little bit so you're not just doing combos and combo all day. So there's some stuff going on there. Again, that music is terrible. They just riff it again and again and again. It's really hard. Because this one is a pretty fun table, actually. I actually like the gameplay quite a bit. But that music and the artwork is all absolutely terrible. I'm not going to make you suffer by watching me play this too much. Just know that it could be so much better. In its current form, I would give this table a 5. With the updated music and artwork, I would give it an 8. So just know that the game itself is pretty darn good. I actually like the game a lot. But in its current form, it's bad. It's just bad. The music is absolutely grating. It'll drive you absolutely crazy. There's just so much, that crazy loud sound of the magnet actuating. They just needed to clean some stuff up, and I think Magic Picks is starting to get it. But man, oh man, this is a table that had incredible potential. You know, we've talked about having tables for girls in your house. This is a wonderful table for that. But can they get over that? I don't know. They're going to like the artwork on the back glass, probably because it looks like they drew it themselves, because it's pretty poor. But at any rate, I would give this one a 5 in its current state, but the game itself, let's not forget, the gameplay itself I think is an 8 on this one. It's a pretty good table if you can just get past some of those small, I say small, but they're still problems, right? Alright, next is Spooky Deluxe. So Spooky Deluxe, first of all, tells you that's kind of a cool Halloween theme. That's going to be a good table, right? We've reviewed the other spooky tables, and they were both really, really good. We did the Solid State, which had a skull on it, and then we did the remake, which had easy access to multi-ball, and we've covered all that. And we get this stinker. So this is Spooky Deluxe. So here we are, again, back glass, terrible back glass. So we're looking at that. The artwork here is what it is. I'd like to say that it's good, but it's not. You got a mummy girl, a vampire girl, and I don't know, like a Frankenstein girl, sort of. I don't know. This character here, you really can't see much of him. He's basically Frankenstein or something like that, like a lurch. He's locked down. He's got pins in his neck the whole bit, or bolts in his neck and the whole bit. This table is another one that they updated heavily. They updated the music and they updated the artwork too. Again, this one is way, way better on the Steam version. So the 4K version and the HD version that we have shown here is not how it is on Steam. Does it play well? Well, let's get into it. Good orbits, good sound effects.
Creature. Your task? Shoot the lock holes.
Callouts are not very good. Callouts sound really bad, quite frankly. But I like the sound effects. I actually love the Hell's Bells kind of sounding slingshots. Those are kind of nice.
Before it's time to return to your grave.
This sounds like somebody really stretching their voice beyond what it probably should be for the sake of the characters. So you can be spooky without being creepy, if that makes any sense.
Combo.
Again, I like some of the sound effects. The riffs are pretty good. You don't hear hardly any music.
Combo.
It's almost all sound effects, which is something that they addressed in the Steam version. Very strange, right? If you can even hear the background music, I'd be surprised. It's pretty quiet. We'll listen here. Not much to it. Unless you're playing the ball, there's not much going on, is there? Lots of time for combos, though, so this is going to be kid-friendly. It says spooky, but it's not really spooky, so it's a good Halloween theme for kids. So I will say that.
Bonus ×2.
Oh, Okay, so spooky. What do we think of this table? I dig this table, actually. It plays really well, but the lack of music, bad artwork, and bad callouts really bring this down. I cannot bring myself to give this more than a 5. And this is another one. I could give this a 7.5 if they updated the music, which they did on Steam, and I updated the backglass. Or updated the backglass and playfield art. I could easily give this a 7.5. It would just make it that much better of a table. I wish they redid the callouts, but that's voice work, that's additional money, so they didn't do that. They could do the other two. Playfields look like they were redone with AI, so that's pretty easy to do. Music is pretty straightforward. That would have cost money too. So I definitely like the updates on this. As in its current form, I give this one a 5, which is really sad because it's a much better table than it should be getting credit for. All right, next up we're going to go to Universe Deluxe, which is a play on kind of a Marvel superhero kind of theme. This is Captain Zack, so Captain Zaccaria.
Universe Deluxe.
So this table's pretty cool looking, I will say. You got pretty bold villains. You got a nice superhero character with some pretty nice underpants, by looks like. On the back glass, you can see the dichotomy here. That definitely these two are foes. There's clearly a villain and a good guy.
Don't fear, people. Captain Zack is here.
Those callouts are actually a lot quieter than I would like. I wish they were a little more bold. They sound great. I wish they would be more bold and pronounced. Here we are with flippers again. We've got 3 on the bottom playfield and then 4 up top. So we've got 7 flippers on this one. Lots of flippers. One thing I will say about this character, he has freakishly large hands, and it really weirds me out. So Captain Zack has some crazy big hands, so I wish they would have fixed that. It just seems a little funny to me that they're so huge. Again, a capture hole going straight down the middle is not a good choice. I wish they would correct that, but again, that's somewhat... You can correct that in playfield, whether it's through a nudge or something like that. Pretty quiet sound effects, or pretty quiet music. Couldn't save that one.
Welcome back, Captain Zack.
That whole action seems completely unnecessary. How it goes up to the upper playfield and goes down into the thing so that Captain Zack can grab it and then put it back on the upper playfield. Seems very misleading.
Welcome back, Captain Zack.
Nice that you can get into an easy multi-ball. In this case, he puts them on the upper playfields, which is pretty wild, during multi-ball. Because then you're playing balls up at the top and at the bottom, which can be pretty difficult for people. But it can be really profitable as far as scoring goes. Okay, what do I think of this one? Well, this one, if I had to rate it, I would probably give this one a 7.5. This one's pretty good. It's actually surprisingly playful, or surprisingly playable. It has lots of combo options. You have some really cool modes going on. The upper playfields are not so ridiculously large that they're not playable. You can see the majority of the playfield, other than his freakishly large hands. I think its graphics are pretty good. The backglass is forgivable in this case because it's superheroes, and they were, it is what it is. Superheroes are always a little far-fetched and a little crazy and a little out there. So I would give this one a 7.5. It's It's not bad. It's certainly the best one we've seen so far. I actually like Battle better, but I've heard a lot of people like this table, and it has skewed me. I've went back and I've played it a lot, and I've actually found myself liking it a lot more than I did originally. So, all right, last on the list is Farfalla Deluxe. Now this is the Farfalla is Italian for butterfly, and so this one is all about love and butterflies and being in a beautiful garden. Again, a really good girls' table. The problem with this one is look how busy this thing is. This thing is absolutely insane. You have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 flippers. I think there's 12 flippers. You have a caricature up here. Oh, no, we did cover that one. So 3 up there, 2 there, 1 there. I thought there was 1 more. It's crazy. These 2 playfields here are in. These 2 playfields down here are unacceptable. When you put playfields over top of flippers and you can't see them in lanes, that is unacceptable. So that's a huge strike right now. This thing I'm totally fine with. If you take these playfields and you move them up here, I'm totally fine with it. You put those up there and this is already playable, okay? Down here, it's really, really tough. I don't know what the heck they were thinking. It's a poor choice. And here you got some butterfly racing, which is kind of cool. But man, oh man, you're going to see here, that bridge is really cool too. But look at this. You lose track of the ball really easily. And we're down here by the flippers. You're going underneath that bridge, which is, again, a visual distraction before it goes to the flippers. Luckily, there's lots of ball saves on this thing called Salva Palla, which is Italian for ball save, loosely translated. So, it is what it is. Graphically, the back glass is pretty crappy. I think they could have done a lot better job with that. And again, this was updated very beautifully in the Steam version, so we really need updated back glasses. We need the updated playfields for the artwork. This one, though, you're not going to save this one. It's so busy. It's so ridiculous. There's too much going on. There's a reason I think that these are not included in Flipper Friends events very often, and I think it has to do with the fact that they are so crazy busy that they'd be very, very tough to play. Looking at this table, it's beautiful, is it not? It has a beautiful art style. I love the colors. There's a lot going on here that really looks really cool. But man, the number of flippers and the fact that they cover up the inlanes with playfields is just inexcusable. I liked the older Farfallas where they had upper and lower playfields. They had some really cool designs with lower playfields on both of them. The original Farfalla had the one where you kind of had to move the ramp. I don't know if you recall that pack. I think it was pack 8, which is one of the better ones, where you had to move the ramp down and then you go up and shoot flowers at the top, and that would get your multipliers and all kinds of points up there. Really liked that one. And then the second Farfalla had the lower playfield with the pegs. If you recall, that one was really cool. So I think they should have followed along those design parameters a little closer. They could have done a little bit more with this. I would have loved to have seen a lower playfield with some butterflies. Maybe do the butterfly racing down underneath the playfield. Or maybe do it up here on the upper playfield across the top. You could have done something there. And maybe do this lady gent thing, combine it, and put it on a lower playfield. I think they could have done a lot with this table. As it is, this table, I can't give more than a 5. It's too busy. This is inexcusable. There's just not a lot going on here that's good, man. The upper playfield, it's perfectly see-through, which is good, but it also doesn't give you any indication of where it is. You have a little bit of visual separation with the green and the acrylic and the bright white acrylics, but that's about all you get. Yeah, this one's a 5 too. So these deluxe tables, I think there was a reason they gave them away for free for the most part. On the HD though, again, a value add for the HD. These tables are not too bad. There's a lot of playability here. There's a lot of modes. There's a lot of fun to be had if you do not have access to the Zen tables. So again, on the micro, I would highly recommend these. These are tables that you could play and really enjoy. So if we're looking at this pack as a whole, we're talking $35 for the 4K and we're talking $30 for the HD/micro ecosystems. Are they worth buying? So this pack 12, I would definitely buy over pack 11. If you wanted to buy some deluxe tables, definitely buy pack 12 over pack 11. I would say that realistically, all 5 of these tables are at least as good as Robot Deluxe, which is really the best game from the first one. House of Diamonds is okay. All of these tables will play better than the ones on pack 11. The only thing if they update the graphics on these, I think these tables will sell like hotcakes. I think the back glass artwork is so bad that it's going to turn people off from buying them. If they update the back glass graphics on these, and they update the music to Spooky Deluxe and Red Show like they did on the Steam version, I think they're going to sell much, much better. So for this pack, if I was to rate this pack as a whole, I would probably give this one a 7.5, maybe an 8. We'll say 7.5. We'll be a little more conservative. I think there's some much better gameplay here. Like Red Show and Spooky Deluxe, if you can get past some of the craziness on there, I think you could really enjoy those tables. Battle, I think, is really good, and I think Universe is really good, too. Farfalla, man, it's just so busy. It's kind of out there. It's just not as good as it could have been. I'm really disappointed by that one. So that's the pack. So this is Deluxe Pack 2, or Zaccaria Pinball Pack 12. I hope you enjoyed this review and going through the tables. If you don't agree with my thoughts, please let me know in the comments. Tell me what you like about them, what you don't like about them. And I'd love to hear what you thought. If you like the content and you're liking these reviews, I have to do Taito packs next. Those are going to be on my list, Taito packs 1, 2, and 3. And we'll get to it after that. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you consider a like and subscribe. And we will see you on the leaderboards.
Retro Tech.